Okay, so Wolves beat Newcastle 2-1 at Molineux today. Two goals from Hwang Chen and two from Raul Jimenez to put Wolves in a pretty healthy position going to the international break. 9 points, 3 wins, 4 losses, which isn't incredible, obviously, but I think when everyone saw the fixtures, I think everyone would have taken that, right? The lineup came out for the game today, and I think most people kind of expected for it to stay with back five and kind of stick to what Bruno has been doing. I spoke in my preview about how I felt this game was kind of perfect to switch to the back four, which I feel like was the case for like most Wolves fans, but he stuck with the back five, and that's completely fair. It wasn't like a good game today. XG had it at zero point 0.9 to zero point 0.5, sorry, zero point 0.8. It wasn't a good game. But when you win, there's no issue with that. I think the defense has come into a lot of criticism, especially Connor Cody and Roman Sace in particular, and even Marcel, I guess, after his Brentford debacle. But I think the defence was probably the highlight of the game today. Obviously, Hwang Chan got two really good goals. The fact that we scored two goals and they were both kind of like one-on-ones, yet our XG was zero point 0.9, suggests that, to me, that's just how hard those finishes were. They looked kind of easy, like when I first watched them, but I watched the highlights back just. They're harder finishes than they looked, and it was good work from Raul Jimenez. And it feels like we're starting to get, a bit of a rhythm together and kind of a bit more, we're getting a bit of an identity, right? But this was a game where it felt like in front of goal we kind of took our chances and we got a bit of luck, and I think we're due that, and we've kind of earned that. Obviously, the game when it started, Newcastle were by far the better side, and I think it was a bit concerning, if I'm being totally honest. I was kind of a bit worried, and obviously the Hwang goal came early. It was nice to score a first half goal because it's not really something we've been doing, really, to be honest. It's rarely happened. But it's nice to see us doing this. Like if you look at the Premier League table, Southampton, Newcastle, two of the sides that haven't won a game yet. Watford have won two, obviously beat them as well. It feels like we're kind of, not comfortably, but actually, no, yeah, comfortably. It feels like we're comfortably beating the sides that are worse than us. And I know that sounds like a very basic thing to say, which it kind of is, but it's not something we ever did under Nuno. I always felt like when we'd go into games against these kind of bottom sides, I'd always feel more nervous than when we played the bigger sides. And I'm not saying we're playing incredibly against these lower sides, but we're getting wins, and I'm never really feeling like we're going to concede. And even Newcastle's goal, like I don't think it was a foul on Jose Sarr at all. I get why he went down, and I think if he stayed down, they might have overturned it. But it's just one of those kind of freak moments, It's not really. I don't really blame anyone for conceding that goal. I don't blame Jose Sarr. I don't blame Newcastle. It's just what it was. You know what I mean? I get why Bruno Lage was frustrated, especially considering what Trincao missed, right? And I think Trincão's the one question mark in this 11. Obviously Bolly will come back in eventually. I think Reynate Nuri will take left wing back long term. But I think everywhere else is pretty settled. Hwang's earned his spot now. Even if he has a stinker against Villa after the international break, I still think he holds his place. Same with Raul. And that kind of right wing spot for me kind of feels like the it's up for grabs. Daniel Potenti's kind of finished more chances. Traore's had more like highlight moments, and Trincão's kind of played the most and probably delivered the least. I like Trincão. I still kind of want to see him a bit more centrally. I feel like he's kind of stuck out wide, and the kind of runs that Hwang were making is what I want to see Trincão make. The issue with Trincão for me is that he's not quick enough. He's quite lanky, which I don't have an issue with, but I think he probably needs to play a bit more inverted. He feels like he's kind of stuck out wide. For me, it doesn't really play to his strengths. But especially against like a low block side, right? But for now, I'd still probably stick with him. Maybe against Villa, you probably bring in Adama, who, by the way, at the end looked fuming. Which is interesting as well, because apparently Adama's signing that new contract. Yeah, it doesn't really. It kind of feels like he's fell out of favour a bit. But I get why Bruno Lage is starting Trincão. I don't think he's been rubbish. If he starts against Villa, I wouldn't have any complaints. I thought Gianmartino had a really good game as well. I thought Ruben Neves has had kind of a bit of a dip in form. I thought he was our best player in the first 3 or 4 games of the season. Had a really bad game against Tottenham. Got dropped for the Southampton game. Came back in today, and I thought he had kind of a poor. He wasn't awful, obviously, but I think Gianmartino kind of outperformed him, and he kind of has over the last few games. And I'd still play Neves, obviously, but Dendon Crawford's a bit of a goal threat. He's on form. Martino's on form. Neves' spot is probably in question. I'd say Neves and Trincão are probably the main two that you kind of associate that with, right? But good finish from Hwang. Again, we started the second half pretty badly as well. Jose Sarr made a big save against Alan Saint-Maximin. And then kind of when Hwang got that second goal, kind of came out of nothing, really. It was one of those kind of Wolves moves where we're kind of just passing around the back. It's kind of going from Kilman to Cody back again. It was one of them. And it just, Raul Jimenez kind of, he kind of took charge and kind of commanded the area and kind of just beat a man, just did something, and we are quite passive, which is fine. We're still learning the system, blah, blah, blah. But it was nice for Jimenez. He took charge, good finish from Hwang. And after that, it was kind of just defending. But whether you like this back five or not, whether you like Hillman, Cody, Sace, whatever, I never really feel like we're going to concede. Jersey side didn't really have much to do today. By the way, the ref was shite as well. I don't know if maybe it was just me, and maybe I was in a bad mood, but the ref was awful. But given the context of the game, given it's before an international break, considering it's like the first win at home and everything that went on with Hwang and Raul, it's not a good performance, but it's a good result. 2 goals, only conceded 1 goal. It's kind of a freak goal, let's be honest. It's not really indicative of the side's performance. There's not really many negatives we can take, and that's always a good thing. Obviously, need to be more fluent in front of goal, create a bit more big chances, because you won't play a side like Newcastle every week who are terrible. But overall, good performance. Got a nice 2 weeks off now, which I don't think the side will want, but it is what it is, and hopefully we can go on a bit of a run now. We've got a few easy fixtures after the international break, and we'll see what happens. But if you enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and yeah, peace.